Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Eva, and I'm a shamanic heart guide and soul-led business mentor. I love weaving soul remembrance with entrepreneurship. So, today I'm going to talk about soul purpose and what that looks like in business, and let whatever gems of wisdom want to drop in as I share, because I naturally will just channel information as I'm speaking. It'll just flow through. So we'll see what wants to come through. But if you're interested in soul purpose and business and connecting to our higher self, or divine self as I like to call it, then stick around for this video. So let's begin by talking about what soul purpose feels like versus following the path that society tells you to take. For me, I feel like on my journey, I always knew that I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something unique, and I wanted to create my own path. Now, creating your own path definitely comes with its own challenges. You're not given a blueprint of how to do things, and you have to figure it out. So, you have to cultivate inner resilience and resourcefulness to be able to do that if you are the one paving the path. And I guess when it comes to soul purpose specifically, the way I would define soul purpose is it feels to me like a calling. It feels like something within me just really deeply wants to have a certain experience, and I'm not willing to give up on it until I create that for myself. And just because you're connecting to your divine self doesn't mean that everything is going to be easy, but there's a different level of fulfillment, I think, that you experience, a different level of joy and freedom to really choose something that means so much to you. And the path that we're all taught is what society says, right? Go to school, get the degree, get the job, build a career. And I don't believe that there's necessarily anything wrong with that path. I just think that there's more to this life than having that experience. Maybe there's hobbies that people want to do. Maybe there's a certain lifestyle people want to cultivate. And I think everyone owes it to themselves to give themselves an opportunity to experience that. Whatever brings that joy, and where you can reach the end of your time here on earth and really feel like you actually lived and you don't regret your experience because you just followed certain rules or certain approaches to life that weren't actually what you knew to be true within yourself. And I believe that we all come with this connection to the divine, and we are taught to not listen to it, to shut it down, to override ourselves, to abandon our own knowing to belong in a group, in our families, in society. I remember when I was at university and I chose to begin studying for the CPA, and most of my peers were doing that. And it just felt like that's the next step. And I was actually asked whether I wanted to do it or not. But at that time, I didn't have any sense of self. I was not connected to myself. So the decision by default was kind of just following that path of what society and my family was telling me that I should do. This is the next step. This is what you do. You get the degree, you get the advanced degree, and then you go get this certificate, and then you're set for your career. But I had curiosity and interest in a different field. I wanted to explore more about spirituality and energy work. And I saw people creating offerings and having businesses and having YouTube channels and contributing in that way to the world. And it showed me that if that's truly what I wanted to do, that that was possible. Because a lot of times we don't realize what is possible until we get the exposure from something that we see, unless it's like a calling within that we feel. And something that I want to make sure to mention when it comes to soul purpose, I have been connecting with my own divine self for the past maybe 5 to 6 years now. And every time I connect, when I show up with my questions, with my curiosities, and with all of the fears and uncertainties that I'm holding as a human, my divine self has never once shamed me or punished me for not following the guidance. So, I also just want to share this for anyone who is feeling like this pressure to almost like find their soul purpose. For me, it did not unfold like overnight. It was a journey of exploring, of learning, of discovering deeper layers, exploring different modalities, doing different healings, learning about my body, learning about my nervous system. And ultimately, it's a journey of reconnecting back to ourselves because we are actually so much more powerful than we realize. And it's not because everyone's talking about manifestation and alignment, but it's because for your reality in your world, you are the one guiding that. You're the one who is experiencing that. Only you can experience it the way that you are. And so there's something really special about that. And I think that when we start to put this pressure, I have to find what my soul purpose is, and you look around and you feel like everyone else has it figured out. Unless that person felt that when they were young and followed that thread and followed that path, everyone goes through a discovery journey, every single person. So I just want to share that to offer some grace to anyone out there who is watching this and feeling that pressure, because it doesn't serve you to be putting that pressure on yourself. And when you can approach your life with more playfulness, curiosity, this lightheartedness, the experience you have also begins to shift. And it becomes a much more enjoyable experience versus being stressed and anxious all the time and beating yourself up, which is not a fun existence for anyone. So I hope that that helps give some perspective there on soul purpose, because I know that that's a big question of like, I need to find my soul purpose. I don't know what my gifts are. Just follow the next curiosity. Follow what you are most interested in right now, whether that is some kind of modality, a type of healing, somewhere in the world you want to go travel to that is calling to you, someone that you feel drawn to go talk to and have a conversation and learn more about what they do. There's so many ways that you can explore what you're drawn to, but just notice where you feel pulled, what is actually piquing that curiosity, and follow that thread. So now when it comes to creating a business with your soul purpose, again, this is not something that you can rush. Where I have landed right now in my business, I feel the most aligned. I feel like my business is the most authentic that it has ever been. I feel like what I am creating, I truly believe in versus before I almost felt like I wanted to believe in it. And I was putting a lot of offerings out there that were skills that I had that I could offer, but I wasn't really giving myself permission to offer the thing that actually lit me up because I was so busy listening to all the outside noise. And it wasn't until this past year when I went through a whole rebirth in my business and received that clarity and have been following that as my North Star ever since. Because I had to go through everything I went through to get clear on what it wasn't. And then that helped me refine and give myself the permission to actually go for the thing that I knew I was feeling in my heart. But sometimes it's not this like overnight, like you wake up in the 3 a.m. and know. It can be a longer journey for some of us. And that's how it was for me. And I feel like when it comes to soul purpose too, we're taught that, or at least like some people will say, that your only purpose is just to be you. And I think what that means is that we're here to live, we're here to have an experience in life. And the way you connect to your soul purpose and get clarity on that is by being present in your life. It's by being open to receiving the divine guidance and being willing to take those brave steps forward. Because if you were already living your soul purpose, then you probably wouldn't be watching this video. But I'm assuming that if you're here, it's because you're curious about that. How do you get there? How do you discover what that is? So you do that by taking action that you haven't taken yet. And that requires bravery because it's going to be out of your comfort zone. It's going to be out of your routine that you currently have. So that's going to require some new habits, some new steps. And you taking those steps is your conversation with the divine, confirming, I am here, I am showing up, I am willing to take the steps forward and meet you. And then you continue to have conversations with the divine, whatever that looks like for you. I believe spirituality is a very personal relationship that we cultivate, and it looks very different for everyone. But that conversation, whatever that looks like, is so important to keep coming back to that. Whether you are praying or journaling or doing healing work or connecting to your ancestors, or you talk to the angels, or you have light being guides, animal spirits, you talk to Mother Earth, all that matters is that you are connecting to your support team and to the divine in some way and opening up to receive the guidance on how to move forward and then taking the action. And that's the dance of it. That's alignment. You're taking the action. You are confirming, I'm willing to take the steps forward. Because if you sit around and just wait for things to drop in your lap, that's not how it works. We are energetic beings and we absolutely can attract things to us. However, even when we attract things to us, it still requires us to get up and take some kind of action. For instance, if you want a trip to your favorite vacation spot, in order to go enjoy that trip, first you would have to go confirm that you accept the ticket, right? Then pack your bags, get to the airport, take the plane, go to the destination, go and explore the destination. All of that is action steps because we live in this physical world. And in the spiritual community, I have seen a lot of bypassing this and a lot of almost trying to operate in just spirit form. But if we were meant to operate in just spirit form, we would be just spirits. We would be spirit guides. We are here in the physical. And the gift of being in the physical is that we can work with spirit to bring forth these ideas and inspiration that we receive. It comes from the field. It's not coming from just thin air. There's a space it actually comes from. Our imagination is one of our senses, and I think that it's a really beautiful process to be in that creation space. It's a really special space to be in, to create and to connect with the divine, and to also to surrender the how and the when, and be willing to listen to the guidance and take those steps forward. And I think that you will feel when you feel called to go do something, like when it feels that it's your soul purpose. I feel like there's more of this calling, like within. No matter how many obstacles you face as you pursue your soul purpose, you're always going to keep coming back to it because it's deeper than just a job you have. It's something that means something to you on such a deep level. So you're not willing to give up on it just because it hasn't worked yet. Then I want to talk about building from soul versus fear and scarcity. Building from a space of fear and scarcity is when you're building from shoulds, when you're building from what is going to get me the most amount of money right now, when you're building from urgency, when you're building from pressure. To me, that is what building from fear and scarcity looks like. And to be honest, I have done it. I went multiple years putting a lot of pressure on myself and my business to produce, and it was not working. And when I looked at my business, I didn't see it as the space of expression and creativity and sacredness. I saw it as a chore, and I saw it as another reminder of how not good enough I was. And I went through this journey of starting to even avoid it and kind of neglecting it because I just didn't feel connected to it anymore. And I think that when you don't have a foundation, especially financially, if you are not being supported financially, that can create sometimes that pressure in your business to produce. And I think it's really important to make sure, because there's a lot of people out there, and I fell for this myself, who will tell you that they just quit their job and just trusted and everything worked out and they haven't looked back. And that's wonderful that that's how it works for some people, but that is not a one size fits all journey. So make sure you're aware of the resources that you have and what you need to make it sustainable, to support yourself so that you have your needs met. And that way you can continue to tap into your creativity and express yourself through the business if that's what you're creating. Because when you are creating from fear and scarcity, it's because you're not allowing yourself to have those needs met. And it's a really dangerous place to put yourself in because you start to put pressure, and it's hard to sometimes hear messages. It's harder to, again, tap into that creative energy when you feel like, oh, I have to produce something, like my livelihood depends on it. So don't listen to anyone who tries to shame you about having a job as you are building what you want on the side. Do what you need to in order to have that foundation and meet your needs. And now I'm going to just tune into any final messages around soul purpose. I think the biggest message coming through is to give yourself the freedom to allow your purpose to evolve with you. And again, that's going to be following your joy and curiosity, because without following the joy and curiosity, you're not going to know where to go next. But there's a reason those things are sparking that for you. So don't feel like your purpose is like this set in stone thing that is never going to change. It's allowed to evolve as you evolve, and you are a multi-dimensional being. You're a very complex being, so most likely you're going to grow in certain ways. And the beauty of entrepreneurship is that your business gets to grow alongside you and gets to evolve. And yeah, I think that that is all that I have to share here for Soul Purpose today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will invite you to a brand new space. If you are interested in developing your ability to make intuitive decisions in your business, if you have been feeling like your business feels like a chore or too serious and you want to bring more playfulness and lightheartedness, if you're navigating any kind of inner limitations, any conditioning that you have received on your journey, and you would like to break through that, I am opening up Intuitive Business Circle. It's going to be a membership on Telegram, a monthly membership. So come join me there. If you feel called, I will have more information down in the show notes. It's a space to be supported by me, to also, as the space grows, connect with fellow soulpreneurs, heart-led entrepreneurs who are interested in creating in this way and deepening that self-trust. I created this space because it is what is bringing me joy right now. So I don't just say things, I actually walk my talk, and I've opened up this space and I am honored to walk beside you if you feel called to join us. And I thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to click that subscribe bell and share this with a friend if something in it sparked something for you or it may inspire someone else in your life. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions or any recommendations or topics on future videos. I will definitely take those into consideration. And thank you for tuning in with me. I appreciate you. I appreciate your presence. And I look forward to connecting with you here on YouTube. Thank you from my heart to yours.